Hello, family. I wanted to reach out with some specifics regarding what church is going to look like when we begin to regather on May 31st. First, I would like to again reiterate the point that we are regathering, not reopening. The church never closed. We simply dispersed for a season in order to flatten the curve of COVID-19, which it appears has happened in this area. So for now, the time is for us, the time to regather. It also bears noting that the church did not disperse in order to protect ourselves. We did disperse because we want to love our neighbors and protect them from exposure. Our goal, as always, is to simply and selflessly love those who are around us. In this instance, that meant for us forgoing meeting together in person, which is an incredibly major sacrifice for us. The next thing that I want to focus on as we regather is that we do so safely. We aren't claiming victory over COVID-19 and returning to normal. We are putting in place protective measures to mitigate some of the inherent risks that are involved in meeting together in this season. Here are a few of the things that we're going to do. Number one, we're going to wear masks. Now, I know masks are uncomfortable and annoying, but there is nothing that works quite as well at keeping us from spraying our snot and spit out into the air as we're together. So we're going to wear them, especially when we're singing and saying the liturgy together. Number two, we'll have hand sanitizer located at the front door for use upon entry and exit of the building. Please use this before you touch anything inside the building and before you touch the doorknob on your way out. Now, we will be also sanitizing all of the common surfaces regularly as well. Number three, we're going to rope off every other pew and keep each pew to one single family unit. So if you're a single or a couple without children and can be more than 6 feet away from the person or couple on the other end of the pew, feel free to double up on those pews. We will also be playing the live stream on a TV downstairs as a means of overflow seating, and we'll offer time for those who end up downstairs to come up for communion. Again, that's if we need it. Number four, speaking of communion, we will only be distributing the bread for a while. We have purchased individually wrapped gluten-free wafers to limit exposure and to maximize the availability to everyone who comes. This is all per the recommendations of our diocese, and receiving either the bread or the wine is sufficient for receiving the fullness of the sacrament. I will wear a mask and sanitize my hands and distribute the bread. Please come up as a family unit and wait until the group in front of you is on their way back to their seat before you come forward. Number five, we're going to limit the amount of touching and the number of things that we touch as we're together. We won't be shaking hands or holding hands or hugging before or during the service. We won't have coffee to avoid touching the pump pot top. And we will station one box for offering for you to walk by and drop in your offering as you walk past it. Now, we believe that as we institute these measures, we can safely regather and worship God together. We will continue to monitor the situation, but move forward cautiously, yet hopefully, to worship God with one voice and in one place together yet again. We will continue to offer an online option for those experiencing symptoms or who are particularly vulnerable, so know that will be available. Now, I realize this is all perhaps rather annoying or even frustrating, but I would ask that you try to comply with all of these measures. We aren't going to be the police, and we're not going to force you to do anything, but perhaps take all of these annoyances as opportunities to pray for those in parts of the world who don't have the ability to gather with one another and with other believers to worship. Perhaps for those who worship under the constant possibility of someone coming in and martyring them for their faith. As you put on an uncomfortable mask, think of those who take on the potential risk of dying every time they gather together, and let us rejoice and praise God that it is only an annoyance that we face. We have been looking at the book of 1 Peter for the last few weeks, and I think it is worth reminding ourselves again of the future hope that Peter encourages us to set our minds on. This life is not our goal. Our goal is eternity in the presence of God. This season of life is a season of preparation for the next life. Let us not fear death, as Christ has defeated death. As we keep these things on the horizon in front of us, we will gather together despite the annoying protective measures and worship God joyfully with thankful hearts. God bless you, brothers and sisters, and I look forward to worshiping with you online this weekend and regathered on the 31st on Pentecost Sunday. Again, God bless you all.